Welcome back on our video course about Microsoft Word. In this video, we're going to see how to insert pictures, icons, shapes, and other graphic elements in our file. We can find the commands to do so in the Insert tab inside the group Illustrations. These are really easy commands to use, but they can be useful. So let's start from the first one, which is Pictures. If we click on it, we have three options to choose from. The first one, we can take a picture from our device. So if we already have a file that we want to insert, whether it's a picture that we took ourselves or some file that we already have saved on our device, we just click on it and choose it from our files. Otherwise, we have stock images and online pictures. Let's see what stock images is. If we click on it, as you can see, we access the stock image on Word. From this stock, we can choose any picture we want, and there are so many to choose from. And as you can see, beside images, we can also choose icons, cutout people, stickers, illustrations, and cartoon people. Let's choose one picture to insert in our file, this one. We click on it and then click on Insert, and the picture will be inserted right away inside our file. As you can see, once we insert a picture, a new tab will pop up on the top of our screen, which is Picture Format. We will see this tab better later on, but all these commands are useful to format the picture inside our file. Let's see now the other way to insert a picture inside our file, which is Online Pictures. If we click on this one, it will open a browser inside Word so that we can search any picture we want without having to exit Microsoft Word and open a new browser. Of course, here you can search whatever you want. Let's go, for example, on dog, and let's choose this one. Insert. And as you can see, this picture has been inserted on our file just like this one. And once again, the Picture Format tab appeared on our screen. The commands on this tab are used to format the picture inside our file, and a lot of these commands are similar to others that we've seen before, just like the styles, so they're really easy to understand and to use. Probably the most important thing to know about pictures in Microsoft Word is how to change their size, which is really easy. We just have to use one of the points on the side of our picture. If you use one of the points on the corners, we can make the picture bigger or smaller without changing its proportions. But if we use one of the points on the sides, as you can see, the proportion of the picture changed. So if you don't want to change them, just use one of the points on the corners. Another way to reduce the size of the picture can be by using the command crop, which basically crops the picture. We can crop it by using one of these points, or we can crop it to a shape or use a specific ratio. For now, let's say that we don't want to crop it, so let's go back and let's just use this point on the corner to reduce the size of the picture. Another important command to format a picture that we can find in Microsoft Word is remove background, which works better if the background is simple and the subject easily stands out from it. But let's see how it works on both of the pictures that we have right now. Let's start from the first one. Let's click on remove background. And as you can see, it will highlight in purple the background, and we can either mark areas that we want to keep or other areas that we want to remove by using the commands in the group refine. Or if we are satisfied with the background that is selected, we just click on keep changes. And as you can see, it removed the background. And as you can see, it didn't do a perfect job, but it removed the entire background of the picture. Let's see now how it works with this other picture. Let's go back on the remove background and click on keep changes. And once again, the background has been removed. Some other important commands for pictures are the layout options, but to fully see how they work, we need a filler text on this file. So let's create one by using the same command that we've seen many times in these videos. Okay, now that we have a text, let's put this picture inside the text. Right now, the layout option of this picture, it's in line with text, so it is linked to the text around it. But we have other options, as you can see. The first one being square, which basically means that the text will go all around the picture if we move it in the center. Another option is tight, which means it will go as close as possible to the image without going over or under it. Then we have the option through, that with this particular picture doesn't change much because we removed the background of this picture. We have the option top and bottom, So basically, it does exactly what the name says. The text divides to the top and to the bottom of the picture, leaving the sides empty. Then we have the option to put the picture behind the text, so the text overlaps the picture, or the option to put the picture in front of the text. Of course, we have the same options with this picture, as you can see. And once we put the picture on top of the text, we have the option to let the picture move with the text so that it moves in the pages if you add or delete a text, or fix the position on the page. So whether you add or delete a text, the picture will stay in the exact position that you fixed it in. Now that we've seen these options, let's move to the next objects that we can insert in our file. Let's go back to the tab insert and let's see the command shapes. Once we click on it, this menu will open up where we have a vast list of shapes that we can choose from. For example, let's choose this one. Once we click on it, we just click on the page and drag until we have the right size we want for the shape. Once we stop clicking, the shape will be added to the file, and we can still change its size by using these points on the corner or on the sides. For this particular shape, we also have some added points, these yellow ones, that we can use to customize the shape. For example, with this one, we customize the size of the two dots. With this one, we customize the distance between them. And with this other one, we customize the size of the line. So basically for any shape, beside the main 8 points that we always find on the corners and on the sides, we could also find added points for further customization of the shape. Also, another menu opens up once we insert a shape, which is the Shape Format tab that has pretty much the same commands as the Picture tab, and they're still to format the shape. Let's go back to the Insert tab and see icons now. We click on it, and the same stock images that opened before will open again, but this time instead of being on the image page, will be on the icons page. So just like the images, we choose the icon we want, we click on it, and insert it in our file. Let's move the shape. Once again, we have the same points that we can use to customize the size of the icon, and the same command to twist it around. Also, a new tab opened up this time. It's called Graphic Format. And once again, it's still pretty much the same commands to format this time an icon. To format an icon. We'll see most of them later on. But the commands that we don't find in the other tabs are Change Graphic, that if we click on it, we simply can change the graphic that we chose, either by choosing one from our device or opening again the stock images, finding one online, which will open again the browse, or replace it with icons. The other option that we don't have on the other tabs is to convert this icon into a shape, which won't change the way that it appears in our file, but simply the way that we can format it. Let's see now the other objects we can insert, which are 3D models. If we click on it, we can choose 3D models from our device, if we already have a model that we want to use, or we can choose one from the stock. As you can see, once again, we have a few options to choose from, and we also have animated models. Let's go, for example, on all animated models, and let's choose this one. Insert. And here we have it, our 3D animated model in our Word file. Once again, we have a new tab called 3D model. All these options are the same as the others to format the way we see it inside our file. And then we have other options that are to pause the animation with this command, pause and play. Then we have the option scenes. Then we can choose the type of animation that we want. This particular model only has one animation, so it's either this one or none. But there are other models that have multiple animations that we can choose from. And then we have the options in the group adjust. There are 3D models to change the 3D model that we chose, once again from our device or the stock, or to reset the 3D model in case we applied some changes that we don't want anymore. We just click on this and the model will go back to its original form. Of course, since it is a 3D model, We can choose the view that we want to see the model from, so we can move it around however we want. Let's go back to insert now and see the option Smart Art. It is an option to insert a graphic inside our file to visually explain something. For example, we can choose from all of this. We have the group list process to basically explain visually a process, any process we want. Then we have cycle and so on. You can see all of them and choose whatever you like the most. Let's choose, for example, this one and insert it in our file. As you can see, we get two new tabs still to format the way we want this smart art. Let's move this one so we can see it better. And this is all for the smart art. So let's go back to insert. Let's move on to the chart option. Here we have a list of charts that we can choose from. We have many different kinds of charts, columns, line, pie, bar, and so on. Let's choose, for example, a pie. Let's click on it. And as you can see, we can also choose how we want to view it. Let's go, for example, with this one and click on OK. And here we have it in our file. As you can see, it will automatically open an Excel window in which we can insert any data we want, and it will automatically change the chart. For example, if we change the numbers inside this one, the chart will change as well. As you can see. Once we close the Excel window, we can open it again by clicking on Edit Data, and we can either open the entire Excel program or the same window that we had before. So this one opens the window inside Word. Meanwhile, this one opens the entire program, as you can see. Let's go back to insert now, and let's see the last option inside the group illustration, which is screenshot. This option basically just closes temporarily Microsoft Word and takes a screenshot of whatever you have on your desktop. So if we click on it, we choose the size of the screenshot we want by clicking and dragging, and then it will appear in our Word file. And once again, the picture format tab will open up again to allow us to format the picture. So this is everything for the group illustrations, but there's still an element that we can add to our file, which is online videos that we have right here next to the group illustrations. And if we click on it, this window opens up where we have to copy and paste or enter the address of the online video that we want, and it will be added to our file as long as the video is supported by any of these providers right here. So now that we've seen all the elements that we can add to our file, let's see all the options on the picture format tab. We have already seen the first one, which is remove background, but then we also have the options in the group adjust to modify the way that we see the picture. The first option is the brightness and contrast corrections, which basically just changes the brightness of our picture. We also have a preview as we go over the options. Then we have the command color, which changes the saturation, tone, or the color of the picture by making it black and white or adding a tint over it. We also have more variations. If we go over here, we can choose any color that we want. We can set a transparent color, which basically makes a color inside our picture transparent. And then we have picture color options, which opens this menu on the side, where we can customize all the options that we find right here that are a little more advanced compared to the others. From this menu, we can also go to these other options, for example, to add a fill to the picture or a line or effects, which are the same effects that we've seen before for fonts, other elements inside of Word. And then we also have the options of text box, which are not available with the picture. So let's go back to the ribbon right here and see the artistic effects, which are simply other effects that we can put on the picture to change its appearance. We can also change the transparency of the picture. compress it, which basically means that the file will be lighter because the picture will be less high quality. We can change the picture by using this command and choosing once again if you want to choose a picture from the device, the stock image, online, or change it with an icon. Or we can reset the picture, which basically means that it will delete all the changes that we made. For example, here the background came back. Then we have the options here in the group picture styles that are basically the same that we had for the font format. These are simply styles that we can choose for our picture. Then we have the option to choose the border. Of course, we always choose the color that we want, how big we want the border to be, the style of the border, the type of line that makes the border. Then here we have the pictures effects, which are basically the same ones that we had seen here. These are the same effects that we can find here. And then with picture layout, we can add a picture to a smart art. So basically, it will add a text box to the picture. Another option that can be important is the alt text, which creates a text that can be an alternative to the picture. And this is used to make the file more accessible. Then with the option position, we can choose the position that we want the picture to be in inside the entire page. Like for example, right now it's in line with the text. As you can see, each time we choose another position, the picture moves inside the page. Then we have the layout options that we also have right next to the picture. And next to it, we have three other important commands that are to bring forward or send backward a picture. If we bring it to the front, it will be on top of the text and other pictures, just like it is right now. But if we send it backwards, for example, send it to the back, as you can see, the other picture, it's now on top of this one. So it moved back. So basically, these commands can be useful to choose the level in which we want the picture to be based on importance or simply our preference. We also have the selection pane command, which basically allows us to select the pictures. We can either show all, like it is right now, or hide all of them. And with these arrows, we can move from one or the other picture. Then we're already seeing the size options. So all we have to see are these three options right here, which are align object, group object, or rotate object. With align object, we can basically align the picture to whatever we want, either the left, center, right, top, and so on. With the rotate option, we can rotate the picture to the right, to the left, flip it vertically or horizontally. And then we also have more rotations options, and we can choose whatever we want, or we can still use this point right here and move it inside the text. Then the group object command is not available right now, but it's used to group two elements, for example, two pictures together. And that's why if we select them both, it will become available, and it will allow us to move and format them as if they were a single object. So now if we choose, for example, a style, it will apply to the both of them, as you can see. So now that we've seen all the commands in the illustration group and the main commands in the picture format tab, we have reached the end of the video. Thank you for following me. Once again, I invite you to subscribe to the channel to not miss out on our next videos and to support us. And I'll see you in the following video.